everybody, and welcome to another week that I call the Business Spotlight. This is the Business Spotlight edition of my email marketing trends and conversations talk show. I hope you guys enjoyed all the episodes that I've been uploading this entire week. But tonight, we're live. Okay, we're live, we're in color, and we're in all the things. And I got my brother from another mother on the show with me. Hey, Zen, what's up? I got my brother from another mother on the show with me, Terry Thompson. Okay, I'm break it down. You're gonna really enjoy tonight's show. Tonight we're gonna talk about a really good topic that, to be quite honest, I can never get bored about talking about this topic, which is how to achieve success. Because for me, success is like a muscle, right? Nobody's born with this magical superhero power. Hey, Kimberly. With success, it's a muscle. It's something that you have to practice every day. It's something that you have to refine every day. It's something that you have to get better every day. And you know, being the fact that I sort of like Facebook a lot, because even though they have their ups and downs, I love the memories section of my Facebook and how I can look at a post or photo or video that I uploaded back in 2008 and be like, wow, I've came so far. Like, let me give myself credit, right? But we're going to jump into a lot of things tonight. And before we get started, I got to give a huge shout out to my show sponsors. So let me first jump into the sponsor of the show, which is Constant Contact. Y'all know I love me some Constant Contact, honey. Been a member of that platform since 2016. And if you don't have a Constant Contact, you get 30% off your first 3 months by going to bit.ly/level up with email marketing. Let me show you guys this.
Got something to say or sell? Constant Contact's powerful online marketing tools make it easy to stand out while you get the word out. Create email marketing campaigns like a pro, promote a sale, or launch a new product. And do it all from one place. Power on with Constant Contact.
Yes. So like I said, the link to get your 30% off your first 3 months of Constant Contact and some awesome resources and goodies from me, head on over to bit.ly/level up with Constant Contact. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Terry onto the show, and if you guys don't know who he is, y'all going to really get to know him tonight. Make sure by the end of the show that you are following him on all social media platforms. And I have to give full credit to Zan the Man. Zan the Man has given me the opportunity to get to know and connect with Terry, and I got to give a shout out to Zan. And Zan will be back on the show because we've been reading the comments. Y'all are like, where is Zan? Where he's at? Which Friday he's going to be back on again? And after tonight's show, y'all gonna be saying the same thing about Mr. Terry, okay? All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into this. I'm gonna be introducing let's talk about Terry real quick. Terry's a motivation speaker, author, entrepreneur, mentor, certified training developer, and leadership expert with over 27 years of knowledge and experience leading others to personal and professional success. His goal is to provide you with the tips, tools, techniques, and resources that will guide you on the right path to achieving your life goals. He has led teams as small as 3 to much larger groups of over 500. Ooh, that's a lot of people, honey. Terry brings to you valuable insight that he has gained from his life of traveling and leading people from around the world that will ultimately lead you to your own success. Okay, so before I bring on Terry, I want to ask y'all a question. What are you doing every day to secure your success, right? What are you doing every day, right? Because me personally, as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman for one of the most successful businesses on the internet right now, one of the things I always make sure to teach my clients this, and even with myself, is that if I'm not planning for success, I'm going to ultimately be planning for failure. I'm so honored, Terry, that you're joining me on tonight's show. We're going to jump into this. We're going to be helping some people. We're going to be impacting some people. And this is why I do this show. It's all about impact for me. So without further ado, let me bring on Terry! Hello!
Yes! I love it.
How
Letitia,
are
thank you
you?
very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just want to give you the right introduction because you are worthy to be honored. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, Terry, I know I already introduced you to the audience, but let the audience know if there's anything that I left out or anything that you want to sort of fun fact about you before we get into these questions.
So a little fun fact about me is that I am also a musician. I love playing musical instruments, and Zan always teases me about my voice, and it's really that music background that kind of gives me that. So playing music for over 30 years, it allows me to have the voice that
Right.
Zan loves so much.
Yes, yes. And boy, do we all love your voice, right? And I think definitely for sure it's like you not only do you have the voice for this, it's like the fact that you want to help people with
Mhm.
success. I have to honestly say one of the things I had to take out of my programs is the mindset stuff. And the reason why I did that is because I started to notice that I was sort of like enabling them more than helping them.
Mhm.
Because how I get started, like my momentum level is so way beyond different to where I will look at a challenge and say, I'm going to knock that challenge down. I'm going to get through it because I have 5 children on the line and I'm not trying to go back to no job. But for most people, they need that extra, push, that extra confirmation, that extra, I need, like, I want to know what to do step by step from the time I wake up to, and I'm just like, girl, like, no, if everyone had that holy grail, then there would be so many people doing it, right?
Mhm.
So you're coming in and you're really teaching this and not just regular people or day-to-day people, but entrepreneurs as well, because in this space we're not only dealing with the emotions of ourselves, we're dealing with the emotions that we're being told no every day. To our, we can have 40 no's and then that one yes is a 15K client, or that one yes is an opportunity for you to do a JV or whatever. So there's a lot of like times where that we, even myself personally, I have to take myself out of my business, like
Mhm.
take myself out of the equation and just let the opportunity flow.
Mhm.
Because if I sit here and say, oh my God, this is my third time follow up with this person, they're still not moving, let me just stop, maybe they don't need it. But really in that person's personal life, they be getting through a wedding, a birthday, a this and that, and it's not till Friday, even though I've reached out to them all week, that they say yes. But for normal people, they would have stopped at Tuesday.
Mhm.
Right? So, for those of you who are tuning in and watching, I have some awesome questions to ask Terry tonight. And, if you guys have any questions in the comments, please feel free to ask. Because if you want to be successful and you know that building success is a muscle, get some advice from Terry because he's amazing and phenomenal. He has something awesome to show you guys. Okay. Yes. You ready, Terry?
I'm absolutely ready. Let's rock.
Yeah. So my first question for you is, what is the most important aspect of achieving success?
So, if you want to achieve success within life, it really comes down to 5 things. And I talked about that within one of my books here. So, I have a book called Leadership Solved. And I had a section in there where I talked about the 5 rights. And it got so much love, so much attention that I'm actually writing a new book called The 5 Rights.
Oh wow.
And the original 5 rights changed a little bit. So as I got to diving just a little bit deeper within those things that are important to me, and I strongly believe they are the most important aspects of achieving success. So whether you're in business, whether you're just trying to achieve success within everyday life, it comes down to 5 things. And I always tell people, if you adhere to the 5 rights, you will never be wrong. Now, what are the 5 rights? The 5 rights are: be at the right place at the right time with the right information, the right resources, the right attitude. I love it. Attitude is important.
Yes. It's
And the
everything.
right action. When you adhere to those 5 rights, you will never be wrong.
Wow. Can you repeat those rights again? So the people in the comments, y'all better take notes.
Absolutely. The 5 rights are: be at the right place at the right time with the right information, the right resources, the right attitude, and the right action.
Wow. So which one of these 5 rights do you feel that people need to work on more?
There's two of them actually, and they work a little hand in hand, but you must have the right attitude first. When you have the right attitude and you take the right action, you will achieve results. Now, whether those results are big, small, positive, or negative, you take those results, modify, tweak, or change, and continue taking action. So, with the right attitude, let me go into attitude first. Here's the reason
Yeah.
why attitude is so important. Because if you have a negative attitude, if you're defeated before you even get started, you will not take the right action. You will complain. You will procrastinate. You will look at all of the reasons on why you cannot do something instead of looking at the things that you can do and take appropriate action on at least one small thing at a time, achieve your result, modify, tweak, or change accordingly, and then celebrate that victory that you achieved something.
Right. And that's another thing that I noticed that most people don't do, and I had to get into the habit of doing, is the celebrating part. Because we're looking for big change and not realizing the small, changes, the little changes that we're making, the little steps to improvement that we're making will lead is even better. A question I want to ask you is, I know you scratched the surface on this, but when it comes to having that positive attitude and being the fact that, especially as a woman, where I wear multiple hats, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a caregiver, I'm the Uber driver, I'm all these different things, right? How do you turn that part of your mind off that is that inner audience that's telling you, girl, you may fail at this, or girl, if you put this money out there, it may not work out, or all these people are telling you no, maybe you should just stop. Like, how do you turn that part off of your brain?
The idea is flow. So you talked about flow earlier, right?
Yeah.
And here's how I kind of approach that. You must limit your focus so that you can spend your time and energy on the right things. Here's what I call flow. It's called a focused level of work. Flow. And when you limit all of those extenuating circumstances, all of those things that are trying to eat at your time, eat at your energy, eat at the things that make you want to achieve the things that you want to achieve, they will tear you down. Here's the thing. I've discovered, now this has kind of two coins to it, two sides to it. When it comes to other people trying to bring you down, I've discovered that people will always judge you from a place of their weakness
Oh,
when
yes.
they do not understand your strength. That is
That is
powerful.
so true. Before we came on here, you and I were joking about planners, right? And we were talking about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you and I collectively spent on planners. We're not going to mention any other names because they're pretty good companies, but
They are.
as you talked about focus and how a lot of times we think that when we get a planner that, now I'm about to plan for success, and then you get it and it's like there's so much stuff in there, there's so much tabs in there, there's so much. But you have something that is going to help you stay focused. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. So I would like to introduce my planner. So I have the Bottom Line Up Front planner. It can be found on my website, which is terrywadethompson.com. So I do have my planner on there. The actual website is bluffplanner.com. But everything I like to direct is over to my website right there, terrywadethompson.com. So when it comes to planning, I like to minimize things down to the most important thing that you must get done every single day, otherwise commonly known as the bottom line up front. You see, I got a military background. And when I served in the military, one of the most important things that we talked about is that bottom line up front. What's the bottom line up front? What is that one thing that you want a senior leader to focus on, and more importantly, take action on? Because if you focus on all of the other stuff, one, you don't know what you're taking action on. You don't know what the decision point is. You don't know what it is that you're supposed to focus on. So you get overwhelmed. You look at all of these thousands of things. Oh, I have all these things to do. Here's a to-do list. I've got 500 things to do, but I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. And that's why you must focus on the bottom line up front. What is the one thing, the number one most important thing you must, and I mean you must, get done? And then you focus on that. So when you limit your focus and take appropriate action, get your results, once again, you're able to limit the overwhelm on all the other things that can just tear you down.
Right. Right. I love that a lot. And the thing is, about another thing on the other side of this, and I'm glad you have that. And guys, make sure you they can go to Terry Wade Thompson.com, or they can go to Amazon and actually grab it today and get it in the mail. But also another end of it is that we can get started. Like, you know how it is, Monday comes and we're like, yeah, I'm about to bang things out, I'm about to make it happen. And then Tuesday comes, and then Wednesday comes, and maybe you didn't even look at it. You didn't even take a look at your planner. So when somebody sort of falls off the wagon, how does what you provide, your planner, really gets them back to, get them back to basics and getting back to picking up where they left off, instead of them feeling like, oh God, I didn't do anything for 2 days. It's already Thursday. How do I get back on it?
So it's more of a planner as well too. So once you start filling it out, you enjoy the process. It's like, okay, every day I need to focus on my bottom line up front. Here's my action items. But there's a tiny little section in there called mindset. And I know you talked about mindset earlier, and I like to put mindset right in there with my planning,
right?
Because it is important. What am I grateful for? And you start enjoying that process. I'm grateful for this or this person. I'm thankful for this or this person. Here's someone I need to reach out to today. Here's those things that I need to focus on. So you really kind of start enjoying the process of planning versus, I guess, the tedious work of having to do something, because like I said, you must focus on that most important thing. And when you make it a must, instead of, oh, I'm interested, oh, I'd like to do that, oh, I may want to do all these things, when it becomes that must, you will make time for those things.
You will. And if you're looking at planning as like a job or a tedious task, then maybe you're writing down the wrong things to do. Maybe your focus is wrong. It's like, today I got one thing done in my business, but like you said, that one thing actually will help things to get done, other things to happen, other things to flow,
Right.
So I want to bring up a comment here. Kimberly Anderson, she said, I feel so behind. I don't know where to begin now because I stopped. What do you have to say about that?
So the first thing that comes to mind is where did you leave off? Where did you stop and why?
Yes.
Why did you stop? So when we're doing things, we all get that momentum, and there's always that one thing that tends to get in our way.
Yeah.
It could just be the slightest of thing, but it gets in the way. The idea is to knock that thing out and figure out, okay, there's something there. What is it? Why is it? Should I focus on it? Should I not focus on it? Should I give it energy? Should I not give it energy? So that's the reason why I said, where did you stop?
Where did you
And
stop?
why?
Where did you stop? I like that you said that. I love that you said it because, for me, I plan my whole week out. So I know by Sunday, I know what I'm going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to the week. So there are some days where I would either skip or I just couldn't get to it. So I always say, okay, if it's Thursday and I didn't get anything done on Tuesday or Wednesday, I said, okay, where did I leave off on Monday? Like, what part, so I can finish this instead of adding more stuff and then feeling like, okay, now there's 100 things I didn't get done. Now, I always share this story on the show, and I have to say this because, like I said, mindset is everything for me. And a lot of times with the way the internet is going right now, everybody's just talking about the successes and talking about the amazingness that they are, and that's great. But every morning that I wake up, and I kid you not, Terry, I get up, I brush my teeth, and while I'm brushing my teeth, I think about all the things I did not get done the day before. I sit there and I'm brushing, and then I say, Letitia, stop. Like, I literally every morning I do this with myself. Stop it. Like, today is today. You know what I mean? And then I think about all the things that I did get done. And I'm like, okay, I did my show. I did this. I did that. I sent a video out to my team for them to do a task for me. And I honor myself. And you mentioned this, celebrating myself for what I did accomplish and what I did do, instead of focusing on what hasn't gotten done. So I think that's important. Even I'm going to add that next step, like what you just mentioned here, about asking why wasn't those things done? why some of the things on that list didn't get done. Do I need to start delegating? I know Teresa's going to give me the side eye. Do I need to start delegating even more stuff than what I'm already delegating, or adding more people to the team, or whatever? You know, it's like, that's what I'm saying. I love entrepreneurship because it allows you to just become the person that you want to become, and like unlearn things. You know, just because you grew up a certain kind of way doesn't mean that you have to become that individual, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We all have knowledge and we all have skills, but really what separates us is our experiences, our experience. And when we're able to take that experience and do things like you mentioned, delegating, that becomes powerful. So I remember when I was in the military, I used to delegate a lot of stuff. I would get tasks and they'd never stop. They're always going to keep coming. But it's my job as that senior leader to make sure that I delegate accordingly. Not every task should go to every person. Not everything should go to every person, because if I give the wrong task to the wrong person, success might not happen. But I also look at it this way from a leadership perspective. If I give a task to a person, maybe I'm trying to build them up, or I'm trying to sharpen them.
Yes. I love that. Yes.
So that's important too when you're looking at trying to achieve success. Okay, team building skills. Where's the weaknesses and how can I build that up? And that's the job as that leader, that senior, that most experienced person, that know their team, know their people, know the tasks, know the ins and outs. Because I've seen all too often senior leaders that get into positions of increased authority and responsibility, and they hide behind their desk. They hide in their office. They put
you are throwing bricks at me right now, Terry, because y'all better ask Terry some questions, because I'm glad he's on here. So, this is this is therapy for me. I am a huge micromanager, and it's so crazy because I started to become the thing that I used to hate working in corporate. I had a micromanager back in my last job that I had 4 years ago, and I couldn't stand her. Okay, I couldn't stand her. Like, she would literally send me an email, and in our office we had glass offices, so I could see your office across my office. And so she'll send me an email and calls me and says, Tisha, can you check your email? Like, girl, you just emailed. Like, give me a minute. You just sent me an email. And it was just that micromanagement that I used to hate, and which was one of the reasons, other than my children and all that stuff, why I left my job. But then I started to notice that I started to become the thing that I did not like at all working in corporate. Isn't that funny how we do that?
It is hilarious. And I got a quick story I would love to share.
Go ahead.
And it's in the same vein as that. So I call that a reliance upon technology. In other words, commonly known as a rut.
Yes.
You are in a rut. You have this reliance upon technology that you strongly believe that all these amazing tools were created to make life better, workflow efficient, but it really doesn't. Here's the deal. When I was in the military, I was out and about marching soldiers out in the field. I wasn't in an office capacity. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a computer on my back or nothing like that. And my commander, I'll never forget this. It was one of the most funniest things. I got in trouble, by the way, a little bit. But it was one of the funniest things ever, because my smart mouth, my 15-pound mouth kind of took over my 5-pound behind and said some things. And it was kind of one of those things. It was like, I sent you an email. Did you get that email? And I was like, do I walk around with the internet on my back?
No. Some people think
you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things that it was a reliance upon technology. And sometimes we forget that we have people tasked on things. We have delegation. We have those things out there. And oftentimes we can get stuck within that email. We can get stuck within that technology. We can get stuck within those very things that are meant to make us successful, but they hold us back. And even though in that moment I made a very smart comment that was not appropriate, that person understood where I came from, because they're right. You're handling your business. You're doing your job. You're doing this thing. And I'm being selfish by sending you an email when I know that you do not have the capability to check it, because you're out. You're you're taking care of things. And it was that small interjection, even though it was appropriate, that made this person take a step back and realize, you know what? Maybe I do need to take a better look at things.
Right. That's so true. I'm so glad you shared that story, because it's that evaluation that we have to put on ourselves. It's like what we're projecting. Sometimes you may assume that we're not projecting that when we are. So it's like, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Let me just go to the comments again, because Bonnie said, if you focus on what's been done, you'll get more done. If you focus on what's not done, you'll get more not done. That is so true.
Mhm.
I love that. And I have to say, I love, you could put your camera down a little bit. I love your shirt, Unbreakable. I love that. Yes. What led you to to have that be your power word? I call it, like, my power word is let's dominate.
Uh-huh.
Like, Unbreakable is your power word. What chose you to choose that word?
So Bonnie is my partner. She is the creator of the Unbreakable t-shirt. And it's an
Yes.
absolutely amazing t-shirt. I have 3 of them and I love the way they feel. I
Uh-huh.
love the message. Here's the thing. You are unbreakable. You have a story to tell that could motivate, inspire, encourage, and more importantly, empower others through
Yeah.
your story, through your message. Because when you share your story, you can show others that if it's possible for you, it's possible for them. And the only way to do that is to share your story. So the My Unbreakable campaign behind Unbreakable Stories at unbreakablestories.com, we're on a mission to, once again, motivate, encourage, inspire, and empower others through those stories, through those messages, through those things that people, they overcome stress, they overcome adversity, roadblocks, all these things within life that to the average person might seem like a setback. That setback is a setup for a comeback.
Ooh,
And when you
yes.
share that story, other people can resonate with that. They can be like, you know what? That's me.
Yes.
That story's me. I can do
Yes.
that. If Letitia can do that, Terry can do that. And if Terry
Exactly.
can do that, somebody else out there can do that. And you know what? When we share that message, it continues, it flows, and we all become unbreakable.
Yeah. And when with the day that I realized that all the people that I follow, that I really look up to, they go through the same thing that I go through every morning, I started to create more of that human. I started to look at them as human beings. Where I'm not looking at them as some special person that was born with more chromosomes than I was. They have the same thing that I was born with, but they're focused. They just focus, 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 focus. And you need tools to focus. That's why I love your book. And I'm going to show you guys this book in just a second. But I really want to jump into this next question here, which is, why do some people fail while the others succeed, right? Even though there's opportunities everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. Somebody type
Oppor-
in hashtag everywhere, please. Go ahead, Terry.
They're everywhere. And here's the thing, not all opportunities are positive, but so many people get focused on these negative conversations, these negative opportunities, and it drains them and it sucks the life out of them. And next thing you know, that's where that energy is flowing. It's like if you're worried about what's on TV, you're worried about what's on the
Right.
news, you're worried about what's in the tabloids, you're worried about all these things that's happening within somebody else's life.
Right.
You will not take ownership and take charge of your own life.
Mm.
And when you join that conversation, all you're doing is giving energy to that conversation.
Yes,
And
yes. You start a new conversation.
you're
Yes.
complaining about why your conversation does not have any strength, why your conversation is not gaining momentum, why your life, your business, all of the things that you could be doing is not gaining traction, gaining ground, because your focus is on the wrong thing.
On the
Remember,
wrong
where
thing.
focus goes, energy flows,
That's
and that's
right.
positive or negative.
That's how we're all wired. That's the thing.
Mhm.
That's what sometimes people don't understand. They think something wrong with them because of that, but that's how we all wired. If I
Mhm.
put a pot of water on the stove, it's going to, as the heat keeps getting higher, 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 it's going to boil over. Because it's the heat is the focus. So it's like, for us as human beings and as entrepreneurs and just as regular everyday people, it's like no one has something special that you don't have. They don't. You have everything you need right now, and I think that's something that I had to face to it myself, and like sort of wedge myself over in saying that, Letitia, you just walked your kids to school, you just picked them up. Why are you upset because you don't have this other thing? What
Mhm.
you have now is something that women are dreaming of, not taking action on their, it's in their dream to leave their job, it's in their dream to be home with their children. They're not taking action on it. You took action on it. You said, you know what, back in 2017 when I was pregnant with my fourth daughter, I said I am not going to have her and then have to go back to work after maternity leave. I'm going to leave my job before she comes to this world. So I got so focused, Terry, for 8 months. Went live 3, 4, 5 times a day because I didn't really know much about Facebook ads at that time. So I was like, I don't want to invest in something I wasn't really knowledgeable of. But I said, I'm going to show up more than my competitors do. Right. I'm going to come to the point where people are going to get so used to seeing me that the only choice for them is to say, click that buy button, make that transaction. So I got so focused. And part of me after some time, once I left my job, I lost a piece of that for a period of time. And I had to gain that back, not going live 4 or 5 times a day, but just doing things a little bit different. This is why we love StreamYard. We love, I started streaming before StreamYard ever was even existed, But it's that focus in saying, you know what is my opportunity that I want to create for myself? Forget about all these other people I follow. I had to get turned off to social media and say, let me just focus on Letitia's goal, Letitia's aspirations, and not look at everybody else. Like at one point I was watching reality shows and I'm like, Tisha, why are you watching rich people right now? You need to turn off that TV. You need to turn off that YouTube video and follow up with people, reach out, connect, go live, do something. Why are you becoming a what is it called? A consumer and not a producer? I'm a producer. I'm not a consumer. I'm not going to sit and watch. So that's the thing. Like I'm really, really careful. That's why I'm glad you have that planner of what, my time. I'm really, really like time is so precious. Once you lose it, it's gone. Right.
Yeah. See, here's what I call it. I call it consume, create, collaborate, contribute.
Say that again.
That's the 4 C's of achieving success right there, which is you must consume so that way you have knowledge and you have skills. You must create so that way others can connect with things from you. You must collaborate so that way you can build strong and powerful relationships. And you must contribute to the world so that way you leave the world a better place than you found it.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that.
4 C's of success right there. Here's the deal. If you don't even make yourself an option, you will never be the only choice. But you must be so good that you are the only choice.
That's right.
And believe me, you will separate yourself, and it's easy to do. There are people out there every single day that are definitely not separating themselves. They're separating themselves, but in a negative way. And once again, people will make a choice on what they choose to consume, but you must create, you must collaborate, and you must contribute.
That's like putting gas in the car, and I get asked this question all the time from my clients where they say, well, coach, I don't want to start moving or start launching until I work on myself first. And I'm really weird about self-development. I'm like, girl, you work on yourself through helping other people.
Yes.
I'm not going to build up my self-esteem I'm not going to build up my self-esteem first and then get out there. No, I'm going to help someone first. And through them giving me a positive testimonial, that's helping me. And I got this from this rabbi I follow on YouTube. I'm not Jewish, but I was listening to him talk and somebody asked like, yeah, I got to build my self-esteem. And he said, that's selfish. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, that's selfish. Like people have been telling me for years, you got to be self-aware. You got to be selfish. You have to have that time to yourself. But he was saying that, yeah, you're supposed to gain knowledge and work on yourself. So that way to teach others. If you're not teaching others first, you can't work on yourself. If you're not helping others first, you can't help yourself. And
it works both ways. I like that you said that because it does work both ways. I'll give you an example. Bonnie and I are partners. Okay. We've built Unbreakable Stories. We talk every single day and we're always learning from each other. Now we both have separate projects as well too, but when we collaborate, when we get together, we're able to take the best of what we've learned together, and the best of what we learned elsewhere. And we bring that to the table and then we sharpen one another. We learn from one another. We take the best. We take the worst. We toss away things that are not important. But the one thing that you need to be able to do is to be compassionate and be open-minded to those things. And if you're not, and you shut everything down, you will never listen, you will never
Yeah.
learn, and you will never rise to a different level.
That's right. You're never going to. And I think that's important for that is like, for me, the best way to get through a struggle is to aim higher. It's almost like singing. It's like if you want to get to that note, you're going to go to a higher pitch just to belt it out a little bit more. And I think a lot of times we get so complacent in our feelings. Like, I don't pay attention to my feelings. That's the weirdest thing about me. Well, I'm not going to say it's the weirdest thing. I think it's like I know how to departmentalize. I tap into my feelings when it comes to my kids. Like, my daughter is averaging out at 100% in math, and when she showed me that, I'm getting crying, I'm getting teary eyed because mama was horrible at math growing up. I was like, I don't know where this child came from, but she's so smart. But it's like when it comes to my business, I don't tap into Letitia because I know if I get all up in this, I'm not going to get nothing done. You know, and I think that's something that, you know, sometimes it's an art to get there. Like it's practice. You know, I have to keep practicing it all the time to get to the point where I'm at right now. Yeah.
I would like to touch on something that you said there because you really said something important, but I'm going to put it in a different light.
Sure.
And that's inflection. So within music, within talking, singing, whatever label we want to put on it, there's a thing called inflection, and that's the rise and fall in the pitch and tone of your voice. And when you inflect, or what you inflect is how you will reflect, or how you inflect is what you will reflect. I said it backwards. Okay. And when you rise, you will take people to a different level because your energy, you're up, you're high.
Yeah.
And when you're way down here, you control the emotions in such a way. See, I can go from 0 to 60 really fast, and I can go from 60 to 100 even faster.
Yes, me too.
It's that inflection that controls your energy, your thermostat. And when you control that, you can reflect that out into the world. Somebody else can take that energy and they can run with that. You know, I always talk to Evan, and he always takes that energy from his inner circle, from his movement makers, from his brandlytics, and he takes that energy and he distributes that into his next thing, into his next project. And where, like I said, where that focus goes, energy flows. Where that energy flows, it continues to go. And it goes beyond you. When you show up, you can show out. When you speak up, you can speak out. The only way to do that is to be yourself, be authentic.
That's right. Be authentic, be real. You know, be transparent, you know? And another thing about when you're at your lowest low, a lot of people are thinking that something is going to motivate them. No, there's going to be other things in the universe or whatever that's going to keep you down there. You know, that's one thing I realized when I had moments of, you know, feeling depressed or feeling overwhelmed or feeling whatever. You're going to get around people who are going to feel the same way. It's like you're like a magnet. Yeah. You know, instead of trying to dig yourself out of that grave. I never forget, my father passed away back in 2001, and I had a dream about him about 6 years ago, and he was sitting there, he was laughing at me. Because during that moment of my life, I was in like deep, deep depression. I was really like this, woe is me, and being so like the victimizing myself, you know? And even through therapy and all those things, I chose to, you know, be sad all the time. So in that dream, he laughed at me, and there was a grave in front of him. And in that dream, he was telling me, you have to dig yourself out. I'm going to laugh at you while you're down there. And I'm going to reward you when you come back up. I'm not going to help you. Because I always think that he's always around me, like just this angel, just motivating me and keeping me going. But in that moment, and even though he's no longer here, he hasn't been on this earth for 21 years. In that moment, he taught me, Tisha, you're going to dig. You have my blood in you. You have my pedigree in you. You're going to dig your way out. And I've seen my father personally dig his way out of many things in my life. So I know, but I understand that if there's women out there who never have that, you know what I mean? That type of lesson in life. But you can find people that have dug their way out of things. And those are the women and men that I like to attach myself to. The ones that were at their bottom. And they're like, girl, I lost my house, I lost everything. But girl, look at me now. I'm like, okay, let's go. You know what
Those
I
are the
mean?
best stories, aren't they?
Yes,
I
yes,
love those stories because
yes.
it is, here's the thing. It is from that darkness that we are able to show our light. But you must be willing to go into the dark
Yeah,
before you can go into the light. And,
yeah.
and the thing is that, see, I definitely didn't grow up, with no golden spoon in my mouth. I can, I can tell you stories of how I grew up and this, that, and the other, to where I would go fishing, and if I didn't catch a fish, I didn't eat. Standing in line to get food. I mean, I definitely didn't come up from a great background. I have
Yes.
4 father figures within my life. My mom
Ooh,
was married
yes.
4 times, but
Amen.
you know what? That's also my strength, because now I have 4 different examples of what right and wrong
Yes.
looks like. My
Ooh.
father was also married a couple of times as well too, so I have 2 different examples of what a mother figure looks like.
Yes.
So I was able
Yes.
to take that, and that's what ultimately ends up being me. Now that's not where it ends. That's only where it began, because I strongly
I'm
believe that
sorry.
everything begins right there within the home, and then what you choose after that is your choice. Who you choose as a mentor, as a leader, as someone that you want to attach yourself to, like you say, that's a choice. And if you choose to attach yourself to people that are down here, going nowhere within life, you will be that 6th person in a group of 5 that's going nowhere. That's the reason why relationships are powerful, and taking ownership in your choices are even more powerful. See, here's the thing. We need more leadership in this world and less likership.
I
Leadership
love that.
versus likership. Huge concept.
That you have helped me during this. We have one more question coming up, but you've
Mhm.
definitely helped me during this conversation, and I'm definitely gonna reach out to my head VA Therese and ask her, like, am I a good leader? Like, and I think a lot of times that's a question that we as entrepreneurs, we're afraid to ask that question.
Mhm.
We're like, okay, I'm giving them an opportunity to make money, to build connection, to network within my audience, but am I a good leader or not? you
That's
know
powerful.
because I want to know so that I can get better. you
That's
know
powerful.
yeah.
Here's what I'll give you a piece of tactical advice on something I used to do. So when I was in the military, we have what's called developmental counseling. And that's where I would sit down with my team members and I would counsel them. I would develop them. Here's the 4 things that we are focused on each and every week and each and every month. And I would counsel them within those 4 areas. This is what you're doing right. This is what you're doing wrong or needs improvement. And here's my recommendation on how you can modify, tweak, or change that thing. And then I would continue to keep track of the feedback and the results. Here's how I would twist that. As a leader, I also want to know how I'm doing. So what I would do is I would give my subordinates or my juniors the opportunity to developmentally counsel me. So I'm building counseling skills within them, getting feedback on how I'm doing as a leader, and we're able to grow as a team, because
Yes.
communication is a 2-way street. If you feel that I'm being successful, let me know. If you feel like I'm failing, let me know. But I'm open enough as a leader, and I'm not too high up on a pedestal to where I cannot
Right, that you
take
got this
negative
ego.
feedback.
Yeah, yeah, because that's prevalent,
Right.
in this industry, is that ego part, and running away from that part of you
Mhm.
that wants to feel like what you just said, like,
Mhm.
I'm good, I'm the best, I'm this and that, and really the people under you hate working with you. Like, that's the
Exactly.
worst, because it's hard to find great people that's willing to work with you. We always think that people that people work for us, and really in reality people are working with us, and that's a better relationship in my personal opinion when it comes to being a leader, right? It's
Yes.
way better, right? Because you're allowing people to excel in their personal zone of genius and make mistakes and learn from them. And I just love it. I just love it. And I really, really love this last question I want to ask you, which is, how do you plan for daily success? How are you doing it?
I'm focusing on the bottom line up front. Like I said, right here with the bottom line up front planner. So I focus on the bottom line up front, and that's the most important thing. Here's the deal. Years ago, before I created the bottom line up front planner, I used to have a to-do list, and I didn't like it. I was overwhelmed. I was like, I have all these things to do. I'm busy. I don't have time for anything. I got 500 things to do, no time, but I don't know what's important. And I could never narrow it down. It was like throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks, throwing darts at a dartboard to see what I would hit. And then I would take action on something. And it might not have been the most important thing. I was looking for the easy win, the easy
Mm-hmm.
victory, not necessarily the hardest thing that I must get done.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, I need to do something. And then I would knock things off. I would go, okay, to done, to done, to done. Instead of to do, I would be like, okay, to done, to done, to done. And as I was working my way through all those things, I was like, man, what did I do? What did I get done? I don't know. I felt lost. So as I created the bottom line upfront planner, I set it to the point to where I focus on the most important thing I must get done, action items, so that a way it supports that bottom line up front, mindset to where, okay, here's the things I'm grateful for, here's the things I'm thankful for, here's people I need to reach out to, here's some resources, here's this. And it helped me really stay more focused on that one thing instead of the 50 things or the 500 things that might not necessarily have been important. Here's where it really gets fun is at the end of the day, and this is something that you and I was talking about earlier, at the end of the day, you have to have that review time. And I call it an after action review. So at the end of the day, you sit down and you clearly identify what was supposed to happen today. What did happen? What went right? What went wrong? What can I modify, tweak, or change and continue taking action on? Because it's important to keep track of those things. It's important to keep track of the things that you did well, things that you can continue to put within your toolkit and continue taking action on, things that didn't go very well. So you need to make improvements. You need to modify, tweak, or change some of those things. And you keep taking action. Stay focused because you know what? When you have a plan, you have a way forward, you get into flow, you have that focus level of work because remember, what gets planned gets done. And the only way to do that is to get the bottom line upfront planner.
I love that you said what gets planned gets done. Period. Okay. I love that. And just so you guys know, I did put the link. It's a direct link on Amazon. You can grab this book right now, paperback version, for $9.99. That is amazing. So go to that link that I put there in the chat for you guys to grab it now. If you're watching this on the replay, it's going to be somewhere in the description of the link. Is going to be down below in the description or in the pinned comment. So you definitely want to check that out. So quick question, Terry. Since, most of the people on here have been like you and I, consistent planner buyers, that's something that obviously is a given to get in your life or your business. But where should someone get started once they grab the planner? Like, what's the first thing that I do the minute I get it in the mail, open up the box and say, I'm ready to go?
Look deep within yourself and determine what's important in my life because not everything is important. We tend to focus on a lot of all these other different things. Well, I would like to do this. Oh, I could do that. Oh, I should do that. And once you limit that focus to the most important thing, otherwise what I call the bottom line up front, you will narrow that focus. You will limit that confusion. You will limit that procrastination and get things done one thing at a time, not 5 things at a time, not 10 things at a time, one thing at a time. The bottom line up front.
Right. Because, back in the day, I used to have a coach that says success loves speed. And that's all great and well. But if you're the type of person that it's not that you don't want to take your time on things, you just want to put all of your energy into the main thing. That's okay too, because success loves action even more. Success loves focus even more. Success love attention to detail a lot. So it's like, yeah, if you're not good at multitasking, which I feel like that word should be removed from the dictionary in a sense, because it really makes us feel like if we're not multitasking enough, then we're missing out or we're not the good. In reality, where your attention needs to be focused on one thing. And I realized that once I started to change that shift, that it helped a lot once I started to hire a team to do the majority of my tasks. I started to say, okay, I mastered this one thing. Now I'm going to teach it, put it in video form, Google Doc or whatever. And then I'm going to focus my attention on another one thing.
Yeah.
until, I mastered that. So I
Here's
think
the
that's
deal.
phenomenal. Yeah.
If people, let me ask you this. So I kind of put it this way. If you focus 20% of your energy on 5 different things, are you really achieving 100%?
Mm-mm.
You're not. That's the reason why you must give 100% of your time, effort, energy into that one thing that you must get done and move on to the other thing. Let me give you an example. A lot of times when you're doing something, are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking of something else? Are you really thinking? Are you in the moment? Are you in the task? Are you giving 100% right then and there to that most important thing? Because no matter where you are, there you are. But the mind can drift.
Mm-hmm.
The mind can drift. And if you don't control that mind, because it can drift, it can procrastinate, it can come up with excuses on why you
Right.
can't get this done, why I shouldn't get this done, why I can't get this done. But if you just put your head down, get that thing done, it's
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot easier to say to done than to have regret on something that you could have done, but you didn't
Right.
do it.
Right. Spot on. That is so true. I mean, again, like it's just like what Gary Vaynerchuk talks about perspective. And a lot of times, especially in this space, everyone has an idea about mindset. You should do this, you should do that, and everything. And a lot of times what people are saying is not practical. Let's just be honest. Like, it's so funny. Like, I used to watch morning routine videos on YouTube because I was like, I want to master my morning routine. I want to wake up at 3:30 a.m. I want to be this high super achiever. But I was looking at people who didn't have the type of life I had. They didn't. They had one kid or a couple of dogs or maybe 3 kids. They didn't have 5 children trying to get them for school, breakfast. I mean, you name it. And I was like, Letitia, you look insane right now. You're trying to build your life around do the same things like some 20-year-old does. It's
Uh-huh.
like, girl, you're way beyond that, right? And I just don't understand why we do that to ourselves. But we sort of fly it and we crash, and we fly it and we
Yeah.
crash, and then we think it's us. And really, it's the fact that you're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at the wrong window.
I've discovered that most people enjoy the pain because they've never experienced the pleasure of success.
Right.
And until you experience the difference, you will never know the difference, and you will keep yourself within the pain.
Mm-hmm. But it also, on the flip side of it, like you mentioned, it's like if you don't have that example, most people don't make like most of the people out there is probably the first entrepreneur in their family. It's probably the first person who started a business. So it's like you don't have like a blueprint, to start from, and it's definitely not taught in the schools. So it's like, how is it that you want to reach for success? You don't know much what it looks like. You're looking out on the internet, but obviously people could post anything on the internet, right?
It's all
And
true, I tell you.
yeah, people post whatever they want, and they can make whatever reality that they want to create. So how is it that you can achieve success even though you don't have a foundation?
How can you achieve success even though you do not have a foundation? That's where mentorship becomes important.
There you go.
Mentorship, coaching, leadership
Yes.
is important.
Yes. Spot on. Get you a good mentor, get you a good leader, somebody that really can hold your hand and walk you through step by step. They don't have to have a large following or any of those things. If they are somebody, like I remember my first coach I was working in corporate. I went on a lunch break, and so the job I had at the time was in Brooklyn, and where I was at, I used to go to the rooftop for lunch, and so from there I used to see all the New York City skyline. So it was really relaxing. So I go on Periscope because Periscope was one of the first platforms for streaming,
I
and I
remember
saw her.
Periscope. I did
Yeah,
that.
I used to be the Scope
I like
Queen.
it. I
Yeah,
love Periscope.
I loved it too. I mean, yeah. And so I was on there and I saw her, and she just spoke to me like her push, her drive, her like, girl, get up out of your chair and stop it. Like it was like that spoke to me. And then I, immediately signed up with her. But with coaching, you're going to have probably several coaches throughout your lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel like each coach I had served a different need. The first coach I had got me moving. The second coach that I had, she taught me how to package up your offer, how to really be actually really seen as the authority in your niche, which is how I feel I am. So it's like each coach serves a different purpose. There's no, one-stop shop. You may have a coach for mindset, you may have a coach for sales, you may have a coach for social media, you know what I mean? Before you get to that point. Yeah. So Terry,
And
go ahead.
and I have multiple coaches as well too. And here's the thing: don't be afraid to learn from other people,
Yeah.
because you have to maintain that two-way communication. I learn from my kids. My kids are 12 and 9, and I learn from them because I listen and I get them involved, and I'm teaching them leadership skills.
Right.
I was like, hey, go ahead, don't be afraid to communicate to me. Don't be afraid to talk to me.
Right.
Show me, teach me. And that's where it starts. Like I said earlier, it starts at the house. It's that foundation. I learn from my kids, and you know what?
So much.
I love it, because the
Yeah.
moment that you shut the kids down, they will not thrive.
They won't.
They will not look for that. They will not look up to you, and they will shut down.
They
And
will.
a lot of people do. They shut down, and there's lots of opportunity out there. But my only word of caution is not everybody is for you, and you're
Nope.
not for everybody.
That's right. And just understand that is a gift. That's not a curse. That's not a bad thing. A lot of people are not ready for the transformation that you're going to provide. But you got to say, my only job is to find the people who are ready. And that's it. And eventually those people who are not ready, they will come around. They're going to have that fear of missing out. Like, oh my God, I first met, Terry. I first met Bonnie. I first met Therese last year. And now I see the transformation she's making for others. Oh, I need to jump in now. So even just recently I had to close out my private coaching program, because now we're taking on a lot of clients. So it's like, okay, we cannot take on any more private clients. And a person inboxed me like 2 days ago, and she's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, girl, I don't have space, because I meet with my clients and I like to meet with my clients. So it's like, when you drag your feet and you take your time, you could be missing opportunities. This is why y'all always got to be on go. You can't be on, I don't know, or maybe, or I'm not sure. Get on go, because you never know.
And that comes with confidence. If you don't
Yes,
have
it does.
confidence in yourself, other people will pick up on that.
Yes, they will. They pick on all day, every day. So Terry, I've been posting your link for your book throughout the chat. I can't wait for those of you who are tuning in and watching for y'all to grab this book and get your hands on this planner. But what do you want to leave the audience with tonight, Terry? We're going to have Terry back on the show again.
Awesome. So I want to leave everybody with this right here. We all have opportunity. We all want to motivate. We all want to inspire. There's those moments of positivity. There's those moments of negativity that will happen within your life. But you are in control. You are in charge. You must take charge, take control. Here's the deal. If you ever see me looking down, it's because I'm helping somebody else up.
That's right. Ooh!
If you ever see me looking up, it's because I'm thanking God for every opportunity that he has presented for me. And I'm truly blessed and truly thankful for that. But every time that I look around, I see amazing people just like you, Letitia, just like everybody within my life that I've been blessed to be with. You know what? If you want to be great, you surround yourself with even greater
people. People that, yes. And we have a question coming in. Kimberly said, how about, I just told y'all I couldn't multitask, but look at what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the dishes, feeding a daughter, and listening to this live. When I realized its light bulb went off, now why did I just fib? Yeah, girl, that's what I'm saying. We say we don't do something when we doing it. You know what I mean? Like, love it. I'm glad that you said that. I'm so happy that you got value. She said, answer your question. You are amazing leader. Oh, thank you, Kim. Love you, sis. All right, guys. So head on over to Terry Wade Thompson.com. Grab all of his resources. Hey, Coffee with Tech. Thank you for stopping by. Happy to see you here. And Terry's going to be back on the show again very soon, honey. So y'all definitely want to make sure y'all tune in. Follow Terry. Terry, is it Terry Wade Thompson on all social media platforms? Thompson is also social media.
So if you go to my website, terrywadethompson.com, all of my social media is right there within the middle. So you can get connected to me on YouTube. You can get connected with me on Twitter, Instagram. Everything is right there.
Right. So make sure y'all connect, because he's posting some phenomenal content online, and I can't wait for you guys to get exposed to it. So as always, don't forget, get out there and dominate, because it's time to design the life that you, in fact, deserve. Till next time. Bye, guys.
Octavia Denise, your Flab to Fab Mama. I help busy and postpartum moms transform from baby flab to mama fab by helping them regain their mental and physical pre-pregnancy body with my knowledge and experience through pregnancy weight gain and weight loss. And my mission is to help you all become beautiful, sexy, and confident in your own skin. And Letitia had helped me with direction in my business, and she has made me feel completely confident. She's helped me get out of my own self-thinking. Before, I used to feel like I couldn't do this. There's no way. I didn't believe in my own dream, and she's given me hope, and she's given me structure, and she's gave me great direction and leadership. And I am just totally confident, and I'm ready to rock this.
Hi, my name is Mariel Morales, and I am the life artist. Working with Letitia Campbell has been amazing. It has changed my life. I went from working a job that I totally hated. I hated myself, I hated my life, to now living the life of my dreams. I am every day a step closer to becoming the beautiful and confident woman that I deserve to be. I am so excited to have my new business that I have been able to create under the coaching of Letitia Campbell. Thank you.
You don't get to this level talking. You don't get to this level talking. You don't get to this level almost. You don't get to this level doing 70%. You get to this level when you execute. All I's are dotted, all T's are crossed. Is that clear? People respect you when you finish, not when you talk. Some of y'all, you talk too much. Stop talking. You don't got to tell me what you're going to do. Just what? Just do it. You think I'm